Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for being my virtual workout buddies. This is day 3 of week 2 of my at-home workouts. Seeing as we're stuck inside, I'm just trying to keep moving as much as I can and pack as much good stuff as I can into a simple 20-minute-ish workout. Alright, so we're going to hit a few different exercises today. Before I start, I'm just going to show you what I have. So hopefully you have something comparable. For my weight, I just have a simple 10-pound ball, soft. I've got a little resistance band here, about ½ inch in width. And then I have another band. It's kind of a loop for usually the lower body, the knees, the ankles, somewhere on the legs there. If you don't have exactly this equipment, no worries. A lot of this stuff you can modify, or you can just do it without the equipment. Usually the equipment is just to make it a little bit more challenging. So before I start, first thing I'm going to hit is a little bit of a core bracing. So I'm going to do what I've been doing all this week, which is what I call the plank circuit. So we are going to be on our forearms for that. I have a mat. You might want a mat or something else soft to put the forearms down on in case the ground is a little uncomfortable. After that, going to hit 4 resistance exercises, prioritizing the hinge movement today. So I'm going to do some Romanian deadlifts with a band to make them a little bit more challenging. Then I'm going to move into squat. It's going to be squat with weight raise, so a little bit of shoulder work in there too. And then going to hit some push work, which is actually going to be some tricep focused push-ups, so sort of a closed grip push-up. I'm going to do that to an elevated surface. I've got a little stool that I'm going to use. If you want, you can use a chair or a bench or something like that. Make it a little bit easier for you. And then I'm just going to do some simple, easy band pull-aparts to round things out there. So that's going to be 4 exercises, 3 sets, 8 reps apiece this week. All right, but first, our core bracing stuff. So I'll show you this from the side. I'm going to start with a side plank. So side plank is going to be from the elbow. In terms of your foot position, you can do however you like. There's the strided foot position with the top leg in front of the bottom leg like that. That's a little bit easier for balance. Or you can do stacked ankles right on top of one another, a little bit more challenging. I'm going to stick with the stack today. So upper arm straight up and down, shoulders stacked over top of the elbow there, and keeping a straight line from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, just bridging up at the hips, watching that rib cage flare. Want to keep the ribs down. Holding here for about 20 seconds. Really want to squeeze the elbow into the side to activate the lat. A few more seconds here. From here, I'm going to roll right over into a classic forearm plank, which is going to look like this. I want to keep my upper back flat, the whole back flat, like a tabletop basically. I want to think my spine as being very neutral. I don't want to round, I don't want to arch, I don't want my butt to go too high, and I don't want to hang out on my shoulder blades. I want my shoulder blades protracted forward. A few more seconds here. Rolling over in a side plank on the other side, which you'll see from the back. Same idea. Once again, my shoulders stacked right over my elbow. And I'm keeping a straight line from the top of my head to the bottom of my heels. About halfway. And rest. Take a little rest here, then I'm going to hit that one more time. And that's going to be a core bracing for today before we get into resistance work. This one's great because it gives you a chance to get the obliques ready with those side planks, as well as the frontal abdominals and your deeper abdominal muscles. So you kind of get a nice 360-degree brace going on there, which is great. Okay, once again from the elbow, side plank, bridging up with the hips. Want to squeeze the elbow in, keep this nice and solid here. About 20 seconds in each position. Moving over into the classic forearm plank. Staying nice and high. Don't hang out on your shoulders. Another good thing here to do is to keep this the neck neutral. So the spine is neutral right to the top of the head. You don't want to let the head droop like that. Up nice like that. 5 more seconds here. And on to the other side. Last one here. Five more seconds. And relax. Little breather. Grab a little bit of water if you want. Gonna work into the first of 4 resistance exercises. Gonna go through all 4 as a tight little superset basically with minimal rest in between. Then I'm gonna take a little break before we hit those 4 again. So it's gonna be 3 sets of 8, just to remind you in case you're following along. Okay, so I'm gonna do a banded Romanian deadlift. My weight is actually gonna be my 10-pound ball, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult because 10 pounds is fairly light for a deadlift for me. If it's not for you, then you can just stick with that. No worries. There's a couple ways you can band this. You can either step into the loop, put it behind the neck, rest on the upper traps there, and that will pull you down as you hinge. But if you want to make it even tougher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step on both sides of that band and I'm going to put my wrist through like that, okay? And I'm going to hold the ball down like this. I want to start with nice soft knees. I'm going to start down. So you notice I pushed my hips back, I pushed my butt back to get into this position. All right, I got my shoulders back nice and tight, got a really tight core. I'm thinking about keeping my spine neutral and I'm just pushing through the heels, leading with the hips, and I'm just getting tall. That's all I'm doing. I'm not leaning back, I'm just getting tall for 8, and that's 3, 4. You can really feel the tension at the top with this one. That's 5, 6. I want to think of the ball going straight up and down. 7 and 8. From here, you're going to roll right on into squats with, it's called the ball raise or weight raise, dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, whatever you have. I'll show you from the side here, okay? So I'm getting my squat stance. To find that, I'm going to jump up and down, land wherever is natural, twist out my heels, twist out my toes. Now I got a little bit of flare going on. I'm about in my squat stance, usually around shoulder width apart, okay? That's a good way to find it. Just going to turn sideways here, keeping those knees nice and soft. I'm thinking pushing the knees out as I squat down, and I want to keep my spine nice and neutral, but as I squat down, that's coming straight up. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. I don't want to shrug. I just want to reach out. Going for 8 here. I kind of lost count, so I'm going to do 2 more. Last one. And then rolling right on into the push work, which today I'm going to hit some hands elevated closed grip push-ups. So I've got a little stool here that I'm going to use to elevate the hands. Rather than the classic push-up, which is going to be like a 45-degree angle here, I'm going to squeeze the elbows in a little bit and keep the elbows nice and close to the torso. I'm driving through the heels of my palms. I'm going to grip on either side of this. Now you see my hands are nice and close together. Otherwise, it's pretty much a classic push-up, but you'll notice it definitely accentuates the triceps. I want to lower my chest to the point where basically I'm touching that elevated surface, usually just below the sternum, with a closed grip push-up like this. 3 more. Core nice and tight the whole time. Thinking pulling myself down, pushing myself off. And last of the 4 is going to be some band pull-aparts. So these ones are going to feel hopefully nice and easy compared to what we've just been doing. So I want to get a little tension on that band, shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Then I'm pulling apart, hopefully to the point where the band actually touches my chest. A little squeeze when I reach that point. The shoulder blades in the back are retracting to come together. That's 5. That's 6. 7. And that's 8. Little breather here, whatever you need. You don't want to bring the heart rate right back down to a rest, because this is how we work in the cardio, by not letting ourselves quite fully rest, but by hitting this stuff fairly quickly. But of course, you don't want to be out of breath while you're doing this. So you take all the time you need there. Those are the 4. We're just going to go through them 2 more times each. I'm going to get set up with my banded Romanian deadlift. Once again, just like that. Put my wrist through those bands. I'm going to start down nice and low. I can already feel a little bit of tension, so I know that's going to be nice and tough. Keep my shoulders back nice and tight. Tight core, big breath in. Hips come forward, driving through the heels. Think lifting with the legs, getting tall. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. Watch the ball or the weight doesn't swing out in front of you. 7, straight up and down. 8. And getting rid of that band. Gonna go right into those squats with the raise, which I'm gonna do, show you from the front this time. Knees go out, weight comes up. That's 2, 3, nice tight core, neutral spine. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bringing back my elevated surface here. Get the base of the palms nice and close together. Elbows squeezed in. We're starting nice and tall. Really reaching for the ground. I'm going to pull myself down, touch that surface, push off. Pull myself in, push off. Neutral spine. Don't let the head droop. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And band pull aparts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those pull aparts are great for me, especially right now, because I'm doing a lot of this hunched over at the desk, computer, playing video games, watching screens, whatever. That's a nice way to do exactly the opposite and just open yourself up and help strengthen up those little muscles behind the scapula there, because they tend to get kind of long and weak when you're pulled forward all the time and everything in front gets really short and tight, and you want to balance that out. Okay, gonna go through one more round of each. Take about 10 more seconds here. Slow breaths in through the nose, slowly out through the mouth, getting the heart rate back under control. Get set up however you're getting set up. From here, I'm driving through the heels. My shoulders are back, nice and tight, tight core. Hips come forward, just like that. Getting tall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right into the squats. All right, a little bit of a wider stance, of course. A little bit more flare going on there. Pushing those knees out as the weight comes up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more time on those tricep push-ups. Make sure you're really screwing the heels of your palms like right into that surface. Notice how when I twist those palms in, I kind of get some lat activation going on there. That's good. I want those nice and tight to pull me down and then push off. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time with the band pull aparts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you made it through all that, great job, especially at the pace that we were moving there, which was pretty quick. Definitely going to take about a minute breather here, and I have a finisher that I'm going to work into, and you can follow along with that as well if you like. That's where this little band is going to come in. If you don't have a band like this, you can still do this finisher. It'll be a little bit easier, which might be good news for you. And I'll show you what that is in just a minute here. So what I'm going to do here is something you can call a glute abduction ladder. Basically, I'm going to get lying on the ground here with my knees bent. I'm going to be doing some glute thrusts upward, kind of like a glute bridge, and I'm going to do it paired with abduction, which is that movement when your hips push apart. So I'm going to have this band around my knees. It's going to want to push my knees in. I'm going to push against it, pushing those knees out. The latter part refers to the number of reps. So it's always going to add up to 11. So first I'll do 10 bridges. I'll stay up in the air on that last bridge, and I'll do one push apart, one abduction, so to speak. Then I'm going to do 9 bridges, and I'm going to do 2 abductions, 8 bridges, 3 abductions, so on and so forth till we get to 1 bridge and 10 abductions. It always adds to 11. Makes sense? Okay, so to get set up here, hopefully you can see all this. I'm going to loop just around the knees, basically. If you can't see my feet, that's really no problem. The feet are just flat on the floor. I am pushing through the heels the whole time. That's the idea with this one. All right. From here, I want to keep my eyes down on my hips. I don't want to be looking behind me because that's where I'll go if that's where I look, meaning I will bridge up too far and get into the lower back. I want to keep this focused on the glutes and hips with this one. All right, so from here, doing 10 of those bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Staying up there, 1 abduction. 1. Now 9 bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Squeeze the glutes, 2 abductions. 1, 2, 8 bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep the core nice and tight while we do these 5 abductions. That's 3, 4, 5. Eyes are always down on the hips, you notice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Past the halfway point, 6 of these. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm nearly there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last set. 1. Staying up for 10. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. So that finishes just 1 round, obviously. If you are following along at home, you don't have one of these bands, you can totally try that without the band, no worries. When you get to the top, just hold nice and tight, push those knees out as if there was a force bringing them back together, and it'll still be difficult and challenging. All right, guys, thanks for following along. Make sure you cool down, stretch it out, foam roll if you do have a foam roller. Take it easy, get a little bit of protein in you, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.